Slurp. Is this it?
Well, when someone turns off their TikTok, yeah.
Yeah. I promise. Wait, is this it?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh. Yay!
No intro ever.
Welcome everybody.
To episode 7
Hey, how are you?
7.
Hey, how are you?
of Brown Conversation. I'm Chris, aka Fluid.
I'm Clark Datu, and we've got a bunch of guests today.
A bunch of queer, annoying ass guests.
Hey, how are you?
Just a bunch of
freaks.
Fruit basket.
Fruit market!
Fucking queers. Anyways, so we have 3 of our friends here with us. If y'all want to introduce yourselves and anything. It's okay, don't be shy.
Counterclockwise star pattern order. What?
Mark,
Am I allowed?
no.
Hi, I'm Mark. My eyes are currently really red because I'm very allergic to the outside world. I am a recent graduate of SFSU, graduated with Asian American Studies degree and a minor in education. Hello, everyone. I am here.
Hey.
It's okay.
My name is Jen. Pronouns are she, they. I'm a second year cinema major, minoring in Asian American Studies at SF State.
You're gonna talk like it the whole podcast?
No, I don't know why I'm like nervous. Maybe I just need to breathe. You're done. Look at your cause. I know. I should be this right now. Yeah, I am the current history coordinator for FACE. That's me.
Here.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm Bree. I'm a they them. I just graduated as a kinesiology major at SF State, and yeah.
So all 5 of us are all very queer.
Maniacal giggling.
So what? We're gonna post this for like June, and June is like Pride Month and everything.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Cool.
Thank God.
So
Are you ready for all the merch that we're gonna rainbows?
all the rainbow themed shit. We're gonna have
Rainbow capitalism.
Hell yeah.
God.
But this episode it's just gonna be like queer chaos and everything. So we just invited, since me and Clark are non-binary, we just invited a bunch of our other non-binary queer friends here to the podcast because we're just all a bunch of dumbass beans, and I feel like it'd be good energy to talk about. And I feel like all of us have like a really nice story to talk about. Yeah. Emphasize the Q and Q, queer trans people, queer trans Black indigenous people of color. So yeah. I guess like the first thing, just like before we get into like any of like big topics, is just like talk about our own identities. If anyone wants to go first.
I'm nervous.
I can go first if y'all are not.
The council's convened. You're first.
God damn it.
I can go after you.
So, thank you, Brie. I appreciate that.
For sure.
So for me, my pronouns are they, them. I am non-binary. How that came to be first. At first, it was like in reaction to how I considered myself in terms of like my relationship with other people. I always put myself in the gender neutral. But now recently I realized like that's very kind of like creates a lot of codependent energy. And now kind of like non-binary just was like something that was always there, but I just didn't understand at the time because I was always in touch with my like feminine like emotions and everything. It just like I just hate being a man in that box. But yeah, just when I heard about like non-binary identities and everything, I was like, that felt right. And then here we are today. I recognize that I have a lot of privilege still being raised as a man, but I'm trying to work on that. But non-binary is just a little box. That's my box, but isn't really a box. More of like a, I don't know. But it's a category that can't be easily defined, and so that's good for me. Tesseract.
I also
Are you okay?
No.
I also identify as non-binary. I go, like I said earlier, with they, them pronouns. Mostly just because it feels right. I hate being labeled solely as a girl, as a woman. However, everything about me is defined by, like, woman traits, I suppose, because I'm shaped like a woman. It doesn't feel right being solely female. Whenever I'm in, like, boxier clothing, looser fit, and am I allowed to be a little bit vulgar?
Yeah.
Whenever I don't
this fucking podcast.
whenever my titties aren't showing and I get to wear, like, a binder, it feels so nice to, like, not see my tits and, like, not see my huge fucking thighs. It feels so nice.
Period.
But sometimes I do want to be, like, perceived as a lady, just like I am right now. I'm in a skirt, I have makeup on, I have, like, my femme-ish earrings.
Knives are
Oh
femme.
my god. Wait, those are brutal.
Hey.
For context.
Okay, Nick.
For context,
Whatever you're imagining right now, you're wrong.
I do have a bloody knife as one of my earrings, but...
Sounds like you're cursing like British. Have a bloody
I got a blind knife. That's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. No, but yeah. It feels a lot better to just be a they, them, and not be subscribed to gender.
Absolutely bonkers.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. I didn't know queers were on this podcast. Unfollow.
I'm still on my free trial. Tell me how premium goes.
We want to go next.
I'll go. Honestly, my current gender identity, I would have to say, because for, like, the past, like, year or so, I've been, like, identifying as non-binary, but as of recent, I don't know, I just feel like the term isn't, like, serving me as well as I thought it would. So I'm, like, exploring new things. Genderqueer is one of them, but I also like to call it gender fuck. Because, like, what the fuck am I? Like,
That's a good one.
I don't know.
What
Like-
the fuck is
Who the fuck is that?
What in the gender fuck is that? But I don't know. Growing up, I've always rejected femininity because I was, like, one of the, like, typical, like, tomboys. My mom would always try and force me to wear dresses and stuff, make me hella uncomfortable whenever I go to church and shit. I don't go anymore, but yeah, I just feel like I've been rejecting that for so long, and I feel like non-binary was me being like, hey, yeah, I'm, like, neither, but I'm especially not that, but I'm trying to be more open to embracing my femininity, which is why I choose genderqueer/fuck.
I love that for you.
Period.
I feel like my gender identity is along the lines of gender fluid. I identify as they, he, she. And I think what kind of stemmed from that was, at first, I remember having a conversation with Chris like 2 years ago, and we were like, being a man sucks. And, like, yes, there's privilege in me saying being a man sucks, and, like, having the ability to, like, use that part of my life as a way to, like, navigate life properly well, I guess. Ooh, that was a lot of words that came out of my mouth. But growing up, I've always felt like I've had these different, like, aspects of myself that weren't just confined to just being a man, but, like, I don't want to say it. The way that I like to view it as is I have a lot of personalities to like show than just being a man. And, like, I think a year ago too, there was this time where I was able to.
I'm sorry. Pause on this. Mark, I'm listening. But fucking Jen is just trying to quietly.
I'm really
Is just trying to quietly.
I'm
freaking get a chip from the bag and everything.
I'm listening. I
Eat your chip. Go.
Anyways, are you done? You done chewing? I'm gonna start gagging. Yeah.
No, please continue.
Anyways, when I was so rudely interrupted, Jen. Okay. yeah, I was able. My partner decided to say, "Hey, let's put on some makeup," and then like I'm like, I've never done this before, and then like put on makeup, and then like there was a little notification that went off in my head that said, "Mark will remember this.
This action will have consequences.
This action will have consequences." And then they're all like, "Here, try this wig on," and I'm all like, "Okay, I'll try this wig on," and I'm all like, "Oh, I look good in a female-shaped environment." So
Period.
yeah, I'm exploring that. Hopefully, in the sometime future. Her name's Marissa, so maybe one day someone will be able to see her.
Yeah, I miss my girlfriend.
Okay.
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 Y'all are wondering who the partner is. It's me. I'm right here.
At me, motherfucker.
Kaka over there.
Clarko?
Oh, my turn. Hello. 7 episodes of this, and I'm still not used to talking for whatever reason.
Right.
Until I open my mouth.
Yeah.
And here we go. Anyways, I'm Clark. Hello. As far as pronouns go, I accept he, they pronouns. To me, my non-binary identity was something that was very much influenced by all the people in this room. You fucking queers, Ollie.
We converted them.
They got me to understand being queer more than I am Catholic.
Oh, that's a different topic.
Whoa,
Season 2 of Brown Colors.
But
whoa.
just like Mark said, just the general stigma and privilege around being a man was something that I generally grew up more or less kind of just disgusted by. I hated the idea that I might be intimidating to someone just for the way I present myself, and I'm very male passing. I basically just look, dress, talk like a dude for the most part. As far as my femininity goes, I'm comfortable with it, not gonna lie. I went full drag one time, and I was like, yes.
Nice.
I could do this for fun. It's just for fun. And it's one of those things that I was like, why do I have to subscribe to the idea that this is men's clothing, this is women's clothing, women is just for women? Makeup is just for women.
Okay, Sapphic. Period.
Anyways,
Allah.
it's not something that like I just realized I hated. It's just kind of something I was paying attention to the whole time growing up. It's like, oh, I'm not allowed to be emotional because I'm a man. I need to suck it up and not let these things affect me. I just disagreed with that. I was just like, just because I was born the way I'm born doesn't mean I can't feel a certain way. It doesn't mean I have to subscribe to social norms. Moved to San Francisco, and sure enough, everything that my dad said he was afraid was going to happen pretty much happened. Here I am. I'm here, I'm queer, and that's okay. It's doesn't really change the way I live my life or anything. It's just how I choose to accept myself. And as far as, like I said, my pronouns go, it's more of a for a myself thing and the terminology that I accept from the people that care about me. And if people care about me, they'll ask, you know?
You heard. Alright. I don't know what's happened.
Segue.
But, yeah. I don't know if y'all like for people who are listening, all of us have like probably like the same gender identity, but like we're not literally like all the same. We might have some like kind of like intersections that we all like share in terms of our experiences and like how we identify ourselves, but I want to just emphasize like there's no like strict definitions of like non-binary, gender queer, gender fluid, and everything. There's never a strict definition or like identification for it. It's mostly just an experience of like of yourself and everything.
I like to separate it as not like a label for an identity, but more this shared understanding of learning to accept yourself. I think that was the biggest part for me to allow me to accept my queer identity, was understanding that it's not something I have to conform to. It's just me learning how to accept myself and who I am, and not letting the opinions of society or other people get in the way of who I am.
Yeah. I just wanted to segue to our guest and everything. I know, like, on the script it says, what does non-binary mean to you? But I just wanted to rephrase it. Just, like, what does your own identity mean to you? Like, spiritually, mentally, and everything? Not by, like, a class book definition, but, like, what does it mean to you? Is that the talking squid?
Yeah, the talking squid.
The talking squid, alright.
What does being a gender fuck mean to me? I don't know, it's just something that I can find comfort in. Because there's a lot of things that not necessarily trigger me, but just bring up, like, bad memories of trauma, of questioning who I was because of the way that other people perceive me. But it's just very, like, empowering, you know, to find something that, like, is personal to you and that helps define you in the way that you express yourself.
I identify as a nuisance.
Roll credits.
Agreed.
You
But-
sure are.
I'm just kidding. But for me,
Yes.
I think my own identity was growing up being told you have to act a certain way by my family, and just everyone that just said, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like my own like liberation of saying, fuck you, I do what I want. And it's just, it feels so good because I've lived this life of just being afraid of what people think of me, of like how I'm being perceived by everyone, and like me saying that I am gender fluid or I'm non-binary. It was just chef's kiss. Mwah! There you go. That's the best way to explain it.
Freedom!
Similar to Mark and Jen, it's been just like being non-binary is just like a huge fuck you to how I've grown up, because I grew up in a Catholic household, but I went to school from kindergarten all the way to senior year of high school. I went to a private Christian school.
Amen.
And that's a whole other thing that we can get
I can't wait
into
till
later.
our religion episode.
Ooh, I used to be an altar boy, so I can. I was a French maid in my time. I had many of sirs.
Did they treat you well?
They treated me well.
I had
They
a lot of
treated-
fathers in my time. I'm sorry, we just
It's okay. But yeah, being non-binary has just been a huge fuck you to every single person in that school, and kind of to my parents as well. But it's also just been like a sort of comfort, because being able to just like dress more masculine, I noticed that I don't get like hit on or like catcalled a lot, and it's so nice to be able to just walk around and not have that fear of like getting told like, hey sexy, come and like do whatever between my legs, blah blah blah, because I've had that happen like so many fucking times, and it's the worst. So just being non-binary it's freeing. Very freeing.
Thank you for sharing that experience, by the way.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris?
Oh, my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Yes, the talking squid.
Whoa.
I
How do
accidentally
you know?
started this segue. So.
Alright. I didn't mean to answer, but yeah. What non-binary meant to me was just like... Yeah, same with all y'all. It's like something that just like fit in with me and everything. But a recent revelation... Epiphany that I had was just like... Everybody was like, throughout my whole life, was telling me like what path I need to go on and everything, what I should do with my life, who I should be, how I should dress, how I should act and everything. Everyone, to my friends, to my like family, to just like any like role model, like mentor especially, just like I am so tired of like people picking the path that like for me, and me like deciding like being non-binary was like one of the first, if not only, times in my life where it's just like one of the first times where it's just like I decided for myself, and that was just as important to me to like discovering myself as much as it is kind of like the act of coming out. And yeah, like honestly, freaking like there's so many people in my life who are just kind of like pushing their fucking like goals onto me. Parents especially is just like, you should do this, you should do this.
I'm sensing a pattern.
Yeah. even like people, even like mentors and everything, like you should do this with your studies, you should do this, who had good intentions for me, and I agreed with that, but it's just kind of like it's not something that I wanted to do for myself and everything. I just want to like lay in the pool and everything and just chill out, but all of a sudden these waves of like good intentions are just walking by. Wow, water analogies. But
Crazy.
Take a shot.
Take a shot every time like they mention a fucking water analogy.
Oh, come on, bro. Conversation.
But yeah, that's what it means to me, because it's something for me. It's mine.
It's like when an advisor says, "Hey, you got to take these classes," and
no,
then
I
you
don't.
do. And then you do, and then it was
fuck you over.
then fuck you over, and you're like, "Oh, guess I'm 2 semesters behind."
I felt that.
This podcast is sponsored by student debt around the whole country. Clark?
I mean, I think I kind of started the segment by explaining it, but like I said, for me, it's... Thank you for the squid. It's an octopus. Anyways.
Did you ask what it wanted to be?
It's got 8 legs!
Did you ask?
Speaking of that,
What was the question? What does it mean to me?
What does your gender identity mean to you?
I think
Sponsored by Apple.
after coming out to myself...
We'll cut that out, don't worry.
No, we won't.
Yeah. We won't.
No, not at all.
I think after coming out to myself and to my friends, I realized that was one of my biggest like mental blocks, I think, was finally accepting, like, even if it's just a part of my intersections, ASMR. Finally accepting a part of who I am, I think was really freeing for my anxiety, just my self-doubts and stuff like that. Ever since I came out, I feel like I've gotten so much more done in my personal growth and development. Just because I wasn't conforming myself to, like I said, to social stigmas and the things I was worried about that people were trying to pressure me to do or feel or be. And so I say I don't necessarily get picky about the pronouns people use for me, because at the end of the day, it's just for me. And if you care, then you'll ask, or you'll at least try to be respectful. But for the most part, I'm not going to surround myself with anybody that's going to force me to be anything other than myself. But thankfully, there's a whole ass community of people out there that are just like, hey, you do you. And I'm like, really? Anything? Anything? Are you sure?
Just don't murder anybody.
I won't go that far. Maybe, but we'll see.
Maybe.
You know?
yeah, that's crazy.
But it's like, look, I was just saying I'm serious, Mark. I'm totally down to go kill a drag circuit. Not kill a drag circuit, but like,
wait,
fucking own it, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
Just like,
Are you sure?
yes, I'm sure. It helped me find a place where I'm not afraid to be myself. And I think that's really important to me. Yeah, just end of story. I feel like that should be important to anybody. I feel like that was pretty much, I think we can all agree, like, being who you are is probably going to be the center of the entirety of your life. And if it's not, you're going to live a very sad life.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. Just like we all talked about our own gender identity and everything. Our gender identity. So I guess since it's like a queer episode, I guess like open the floor if y'all are comfortable. Like, what is everybody's like sexuality? Y'all don't have to like explain it. You can just say it. Like, just rapid fire.
Women are fucking hot.
Thank you, Jen.
And then there's like a little sprinkle of the other ones.
The other
The ones that do this.
The other ones. Would you like to give context to what you just did, Clark?
I stuffed a bottle inside this octopus. I think that's all the context
Oh
we
my God.
need.
I feel like, on a real note,
Don't
though,
stroke it.
don't.
Harder.
Oh.
Stop! Stop!
My ears. My ears.
Their ears.
My ears. I have to listen to this twice.
But yeah, I think about sexuality and I think about like attractiveness and something like a big takeaway I got from internship. Haha, plug. Is that you're like fuck you, but the difference between like romantic attraction and sexual attraction. So if I were to like boil that down, I feel like if we were to talk about romantic attraction, it's gotta be I don't know how to say this in like a politically correct way, but I'm more attracted romantically towards I'd say like femme presenting. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like women and like all of that jazz and like, you know, but I'm also sexually attracted. I feel like it's 50-50. I couldn't care less about what. I'm not gonna finish my sentence.
We all know.
Political correctness has left the building. Political. Political.
Pectoral.
Total.
Correctness has left the building.
This is gonna be the longest podcast ever.
Next.
Oh,
Who's octopus?
I don't think we're allowed to touch the octopus anymore.
We've been banned.
queer. I'm not gonna go into it deeper. I'm just gonna say queer.
A bitch is bi.
What am I? Wait. I wrote the question down. I'm like, what? Girls are pretty. But
Girls.
Oh.
But yeah, sexual attraction and romantic attraction are very different for me. I'm just panromantic. When we say like, what was it? I feel like with sexuality, it's like people don't acknowledge, like when people say, "Oh, I'm attracted to women," it's just like all women. Are like that's for me, all women. So I guess. There's a lot of trans exclusionary
Take
people.
that as you will.
Yeah, take that as you will and everything.
I feel like another reason why I don't really want to label myself my sexuality too much is because I am in a straight passing relationship, and it's like if I try to say that I'm attracted to other genders, it feels invalidated by like the world because it's like they're not looking at it. So it's like for me there's still that fear of just like, am I really just faking it all? Do I have the biggest form of imposter syndrome? Do I have the biggest clown nose on right now? Like, yeah, that's like a big thing with me. That's why I don't want to like completely say that I am the identity that I am. So I'm just gonna like stick with queer.
My turn. I too am in a straight passing relationship. But as far as my sexuality goes, for the most part, it's just always been women. As far as like sexual attraction goes, that's never really changed or wavered. Women are beautiful at the end of the day. Women.
Women.
They're on the world.
Name a woman.
Mom?
Okay.
This is a weird person to talk about during this segment. But like,
Freud would be proud.
You're the one that said mom. I don't know.
it's like I'm just not sexually attracted to men. But not to say I can't just be like, that's a good looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's not like to the point where it's like I need that dude to take me home now. It's like he's just a good looking dude. If anything, it's more of a self motivation for myself. You know, that's the body that they have that I was technically born with too. You know,
A sexual appreciation.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Like a fine art museum.
that could be me someday.
I can
You
do
know.
that work too.
You know, it's not like I'm like attracted, but like I appreciate the work somebody can put in to a body similar to mine, and I can look at that and be like, that's great, you know. But it's not for sexual attraction or at that point. Yeah, I mean, it's just this is what it is.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Like,
It is what it is.
Yeah, I like. You want to pop off?
Why did that sound like church for a sec?
and I think this is like an important. Breathe. And I think this is also where I draw an important like line of differentiation between gender identity, sexuality, and at least to me, what it means to be queer.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of average people will look at queer and take that as, oh, so you like experimenting or something like this or other. It's just like, I could still be straight and queer. They don't necessarily correlate. Okay, it's like how I choose to see myself versus what I'm into are completely different things, but still part of who I am. And they don't have to influence each other one way or another. I mean, they can. They don't have to. And that's what I said about, like, just embracing this identity and being part of this community where they're like, yeah, that is fine. You can be whoever you want to be. We don't care.
Yeah. Mark, you mentioned it, how it's just like how you say queer because you don't want to kind of reveal too much because people there's a lot of people whenever people talk about like their sexuality, they just invalidate all the fucking time.
People are fucking mean.
Exactly. In like the queer community too, it's just like, come on, like I don't need to prove anything to you. You don't get to know what happens like in my fucking bedroom and shit. Like you're not invited. Like whatever happens.
Not unless
I mean,
you pay for the OnlyFans subscription.
Hey, yo, the biphobia is rampant in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like there's a lot of people who are just super ready to invalidate everybody's identity and shit. Why is everybody just deep throating a pocky right now?
Because I can.
You invited a bunch of queers to your podcast.
It's
I
like-
don't know what you expected.
I don't.
How low
I
can
didn't-
you go?
I had an itch in the back of my throat.
Scratch that real quick.
This is not an educational podcast at all. Just letting you know. I mean, it is. Could be. I don't know.
Continue about people being mean.
Yeah, just people just being invalidated and everything because like they feel like. I guess the people who do that within like the queer community could be like are like labeled the best version of like being bisexual or being like pan or being like. There's some superiority complex people have with their own identities that they like push onto other people as well, and that's why like it's important to like note that's just like our identity is ours, and you can't take that away from us, and you can't like push us in whatever direction that you think is right, because that's just pushing on just queer gender norms and shit, and that's the purpose of us being queer, because we're tired of that shit already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
I mean, this is the okay. Cool.
We did that one.
We did that one. No.
We did that one.
I mean, we could talk about pronouns a little bit, but I guess like what are like spaces y'all are like able to kind of like fully express your identity in, like fully. For me, it's just really like on any like social media platform, but that's and like with my friends, and that's kind of it. Not really fully like out and about at work usually, because I don't really feel safe. Only if I'm like with another like queer coworker that's also out, but that's only with like community and solidarity. I am not out to my to my family.
Me too. I felt that.
Only to a certain like amount, but like even then, just
Mm-hmm.
like even though I'm comfortable with that identity, it's just like I'm okay right now with not being able to come up with my family. But it's just it's a generational thing that's just kind of like a lot of pressure. I don't know if y'all share the same thing. In public, like if I'm with my friends, fuck yeah, the heck, hell yeah.
I think for myself, my family and I have this mutual understanding that I do whatever the fuck I want. But I think that's also because I grew up a Filipino boy. So I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want. And like, I really don't let anyone, I don't really let any of my family's like comments get to me anymore. But technically I'm not out to them. But friends everywhere else, this place where I used to work at a boba shop, wonderful people. Managers are my best friends. Shout out to Miguel and Joseph. They've accepted my identity no matter what it was. So yeah.
For me,
Yes.
Yes.
definitely not at work. Like, cause I work with a lot of like older people, whom I call like kuya and ate, cause like they're Filipino too, and then there's just like that stereotype of just like not like understanding queerness, or not necessarily stereotype, but like colonization, colonial mentality of not being able to be open-minded to anything other than two genders, two sexes. So I'm not there. At home, yeah. Everyone is pretty much chill with how I present myself. With family, select few. I think if I like only like my sister, but I don't think she even knows like my own gender identity, and it's not like I expect her to know. Like it's whatever, because the way I express myself is like personal to me, and like it's a privilege for me to tell you. You know what I mean? With friends, yeah, I could get less of a fuck, and in public, if I'm with friends too, like it's just like that comfort. I'm not comfortable yet. Screaming I'm queer all by myself. I'm queer. You just go to Dolo and then I'm gay. Into the city square.
You can hear somebody in the background.
Me too.
Safe spaces.
Safe spaces. For me, I am unemployed, so workplace is out.
Woo!
Home/family is a touchy one. My parents know I'm bi, but they don't know that I'm like genderqueer. My sister does, which is an odd thing. She's 11, but she has a pretty good grasp, amazingly enough, on like LGBTQ stuff. I just tell her to not tell my parents, and she's been pretty good at that. She doesn't tell my parents, but she does. It's very sweet of her. She does use they them pronouns for me. She remembers to do that. Friends also couldn't give less of a fuck. The only friends I have are queer, so I do not have straight friends.
Sweats and rainbows.
Sweats and rainbows.
So when we became friends, you already knew before I did.
The queer dar. The queer dar don't lie.
I knew something was happening around me. I just wasn't sure what it was.
It just so happened to be that way.
My queer identity is very recent, like within the last year. Just saying.
Predicted.
24K.
Maybe Trammy had an
Inkling and an idea. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Shout out to Trammy.
Shout out to Trammy.
Miss you, Mom.
Ah, yes. In public, somewhat. I express myself in the sense that, like, my clothes do all the talking. I will not openly say anything. I don't have any, like, well, I guess that's a lie, because one of my backpacks does have they, them on it. Not this one, but...
Your backpack has pronouns? That's so nice.
I hate you.
I just thought it would be Gucci. I just got it. It took me a second. My brain was fucking turning. I was just all like, what the fuck?
It was loading.
Backpacks have pronouns? Simple monkey in your brain was like, wait a minute. Ding, 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 ding.
But yes, for me, my clothes do all the talking. If anybody can, like, pick me out and do the... Are you... limp wrist?
Are you carpal tunnel?
Are you correct? Are you
Are you? Oh, ooh.
Are you bless your Lola?
Are you monopole?
No, but yeah, if anybody can just pick me out, then that's on them. But
The occasional, I like your outfit.
I like your haircut.
I like your haircut. I like your outfit.
I like your makeup. I like your
What do you
style.
know?
When, like, a random person just, like, compliments you just on a random aspect of your fit, just like,
Oh.
Oh.
When someone says, like, I like your glasses, I'm just like, I'm not, what? Oh.
Thanks.
It took me a while to pick up on that. It's a lot of time as a barista in a really affluent neighborhood. Started to realize, oh, I got something going on for the people here. I didn't realize it until somebody was like, I like your hair. And I was like, I straight up woke up like shit this morning. What are you talking about?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then, just work a little
Thanks
bit.
for the 20%.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, all of this for the tips? Absolutely.
All of the sound bites are just peaking. It's gonna be a nightmare for me to edit. It's fine.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Crazy.
This is what you wanted. Isn't this what y'all wanted? Chaos?
Yeah, actually.
Y'all asked us to be here.
I know, we're the queer chaos.
That's literally what the title
Excuse
is
me,
called.
I'm an idiot.
My housemates are just like, I hope Chris is okay.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done,
We
I'm
just
done.
like interrupt.
No,
We're
I'm
just
done.
like tangents and shit.
Sorry, we went full aid.
What spaces are you able to express your identity freely?
Did we just talk
We
about
just-
that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of an open field works
Oh.
too.
Middle of an open.
I'm queer!
Shut up.
Getting lost in a cornfield kind of vibes with the mood,
Yeah.
It's not something for me that I go out of my way to inform people of. It's more, like I said, if somebody asks me, I'll tell them. Same with my family. If they ask me, I'll tell them. I don't think most of their minds have wrapped around the concept of gender identities anyways, except my sister, who also accepts a non-binary identity. And my 15-year-old brother, who is way more in tune with the world than I was expecting a 15-year-old to be. The internet is weird.
Shout out to TikTok.
Damn.
Didn't even know this.
Renegade.
Anyways, we're just waiting for him to come out.
Just like Bree was with you.
Apparently everybody was just like, we know. And I was like, what?
You hang out with Chris a lot. It's fine.
Whenever you're
That
ready.
wasn't a choice.
I know.
Yes, with my friends, I guess I give less of a fuck. To Bree's point as well, the way I dress is maybe a little bit more indicative of how I feel about myself. I'm gonna touch whatever the fuck I
Stop
want.
shaking.
I'm sorry. But I do live in myself in that aspect that, like, when I go home, it's more of a conservative-leaning town, and just to avoid the general trouble, I tone it down. I'm just back to blue jeans and a shirt, Go back to San Francisco, and I'm wearing cut-off Dickies and big corduroy pants, and my shirt's half buttoned up because I feel myself.
Top 2 buttons don't exist.
You know, they don't.
I don't know what
They
those
don't.
I don't even know why they put them on.
I know.
But
Just titties out.
Yiddies.
Yiddies.
yeah, you know, the safest place is always going to be with myself. So as far as Mark doesn't have any safe spaces. Nothing is sacred.
No.
And if you're listening, you don't know what's happening. Good.
But yeah, the safest space is with myself, and as far as my identity goes, if somebody asks me, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Segu.
Segu. Next question. It's like an assignment. I'm like just.
This is just interviewing.
This is just the group project, but then, like, you just so happen to get that one day where the teacher's like, okay, pick your groups.
Watch us.
Bet?
What is
On God?
What's the VeggieTales? Do we have a show for you?
Roll credits.
Y'all kind of mentioned it, but just like the question is just like describe your relationship with your parents. I'm just like, ooh.
Yes.
Boof.
But like,
You may have noticed a correlation in the pressure from immigrant parents on their children. And it may not necessarily be causation, but
I'm a first generation Filipino, so I immigrated here when I was 3. So I think that experience of like having my mom tell me at a very early age that you have to work twice as hard as everyone else, A, and then B, you have to fit in as much as possible or else you will not get anywhere. Therefore, me being the little shit that I am, I'm like, authority? Didn't hear about that. And I just said, no! Black heart emoji. And yeah, I don't know. It's like my parents and I have just come to this common understanding where I'm just like, you know what? I do what I do. You can pretend to tell me what I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna do it anyways. But sometimes I do listen to them, and yes.
as the oldest accident, I was born. I was born in America. Okay, to parents who immigrated here when they were basically teenagers. So a lot of their formative years were spent in America, but that's during like the late 70s, 80s, give or take. My grandparents came here in like the 60s. Okay, so that's the height of like the civil rights movement and stuff like that. So I already understood like the perception of my family as far as race goes, and in their eyes how important it was to basically hide who I am. Grandma would tell me to stay out of the sun before I start looking like the blacks, quote unquote. Those are her words. Okay, I love my grandma and I'm not gonna give her shit for the way she thinks now. It's just, that's just how I grew up, What was the question? The relationship with my parents. It's more of like a relationship with my whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, dad and oldest uncle in the Navy, so just a lot of pressure to be the man in the family. I'm the oldest son. My mom's an only child on that side, so I'm also next line of blood for that particular side of the family, So a lot of pressure to find a wife, have kids, be successful, take over the business. It's like, I'm gonna move to San Francisco and do what I want. Bye. And like, after my first year in college, that I decided I wasn't gonna move back home, started to realize, I just do whatever I want. And after some stints with the old mental health police, I think that was when there was like a turning point with my family that they were like, you just do you. Okay, do whatever you gotta do. Just get there. Okay? They every now and then talk to them. It's just like, we've got a couple expectations for you, and just saying, just for us, just graduate school. They're very passive aggressive about how they want me to graduate school. So it's like, I can't just pursue any degree. It's like, oh, what if I want to pursue like music or like trade skills? And they're like, you could do business. You can get into any field. And it's like, I can get into any field already. Just if you want a degree, I'll get you a degree, but it's not going to be in anything you want. Okay.
Degree and bounce that ass.
85 degree.
A BA.
I put the BA and throw it back.
I put the BS in bullshit.
He's just trying to spell right
Bastard
now.
of sciences.
The bastards of science.
Motherfucker of arts.
Undeclared.
Like I said, it's, I guess, at least of recent times, it's been an okay relationship, but it's like, just don't ask about anything that'll start an argument, that's easy to do. It's been pretty easy to shut up lately. It's been a slow year.
Yeah.
I can go. My relationship with my parents is it's easier to just shut up for me, in all honesty. I don't wanna. My parents have threatened me with extremes, multiple times, and I'd rather not experience those extremes. So, it's easier to just kind of fly under the radar just a little bit. We do get into fights about how I present. My hair being the top one almost every single time. It's a nightmare every single time I want to try and get a haircut. And it's just like, I want an undercut. And my mom is like, no.
That
You're
really good.
right? I look so hot with an undercut. But for now, I have to stick with a pixie cut with the longer back, just so I look a little bit more feminine. But I think it's just easier for myself to just be gay enough. Look gay enough.
Minimum subscription to the Alphabet Mafia.
My mom is a little bit more extreme than my dad. My dad is like, he's visibly disappointed, but he's also
Sitting in the lazy boy.
I'm not gonna say anything, you can see it.
But he is the one that recently we just went to Target and we saw the Pride collection, and my dad saw me eyeing the a button up with all the ice cream and all the flags, and I was just like, it's so tacky and I kind of want it. And my dad was like, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I do. It's like, your mom's not here and you have your own money and I'm going to the sports section, so
I'm not dealing with it, bye!
for real. And I was like, bet, alright.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
But yeah, just it's okay. It's better than it was before. It's a lot better than it was before.
Was that everybody? No. Yeah.
If you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, growing up, I feel like because they put this tomboy label on me, they always had, like, a suspicion. Like, sometimes it would just be me and my dad or me and my mom driving in the car, like, after, like, picking me up from school or, like, a practice or whatever. And then we'd be at a red light and I'd be like, fuck. And then they would turn to me and be like, hey, Jen, behave. And I'd be like, fuck. And they'd be like, so, do you like boys or girls? And then, me being young and, like, in denial of everything, me thinking that every pretty girl, I just wanted to be friends with them, I was just like, oh my god. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I mean, I like boys, but I'd be like, I like boys, Mom. Like, I don't know why you assuming that I would like girls is kind of offensive, and I pull that like homophobic shit out of my ass. And then journal about it when I get home. But as of recently,
journal.
yeah, journaling. There's a lot of
It's that one TikTok. It's like, I hate people at the bank. I work at the bank.
But yeah, there's like this whole like I don't know. I feel like the idea of like coming out is kind of outdated and an invasion of privacy. Like I said earlier, like whatever part of myself that I choose to give to you, consider it a privilege. Like you don't need to know like my business, you know, and I don't feel comfortable like announcing it to the world. But the dumbass in me saw this picture on Twitter, and it's of the Geico like gecko, right? Or is it a lizard? No, it's a gecko. Obviously, it's fucking Geico. And it was he was holding like one of those like whiteboards, and then he said, "I am gay." and then I was just like, bro, like I'm so. I was just like, what
I identify with this gecko.
I literally just sent it into the family group chat with no context, and then they showed like support and stuff, and so I was just like, okay, that's cool. They always like ask me if I have a girlfriend, or if I will be like. I don't know, in a relationship.
I mean,
yeah. But, yeah, I feel like things are, like, okay. There are some times where my mom, or my dad, but especially, like, my mom would, like, I don't know, like, she likes to, like, trophy gaze, like, as, like, objectifying them and stuff, and, like, that's something I'm trying to talk to her about, and, like, trying to, like, be more comfortable talking to her about, because it makes me uncomfortable, and I'm sure it would make all of y'all uncomfortable.
That one's nice. No, stop that.
No, like so just be like, you should have you should have like a gay best friend. I mean, I do.
I mean, yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
she makes it seem like it's something that I can go on like fucking Amazon or like findagay.com. Like making it like this is something I can have fucking like delivered to me like with.
You
Like
live
on
in San
Express.
Francisco, it's
2-day shipping.
not too far off.
yeah, you're right. But I mean, in
Take
San
a stroll down to
Diego.
the Castro district and be like,
No, you're right.
Hey.
You! Follow me!
what are you doing? Window shopping.
I'm on fucking Rainbow Road right now.
That's Sonic.
Rolling around. Wait.
Yeah, that's really it.
Oh yes, the when Mom parks in the driveway real quick, turns the car off but doesn't get out, and just turns to you and goes, "You know I love you, right?" And I'm like,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mom, I'm not gay. I know how many times I have to tell you.
Freaking-
It's okay. It's okay. I love you no matter what. Just don't do anything in front of me. And I'm like, see, that's why I'd never tell you.
That's it. That's the whole
That's it. That's right there.
Freaking, I had so many, like, friends who were just, like, women and everything. We were just hanging out. And then my dad picked me up from, like, a birthday party and everything, and they just saw, like, all my friends were just girls. And then just, like, drove away towards home. I was just like, I see the look in your eye. Come on, no red light. Okay. Huh? What happened? Are you gay? I'm like, no. They're just my friends. Oh, okay. Alright. Green light. Another red light. Fuck! You sure?
Always at the red light.
You sure? I'm just like, Dad, they're my friends. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. But they're always just like, after every time you come home, after those like fucking like drives, like either your parents or anything, or just gonna talk to like anybody in your family, you just hear them talking about you in like Tagalog, Ilocano, and everything. It's just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I know.
I hear every
I
single
hear
word you're
every
saying.
single word.
I may not understand, but I feel it.
You think you're slick and everything because you're in another room, but you're shouting louder because you're just frustrated, huh?
You're Ilocano.
Yo, my parents do not have a volume setting. It's always, huh? What did you say? Oh my gosh, there's this. I have that same experience, but my dad takes it a little bit more of the misogynistic route. He's like, are those all your girlfriends? I'm like, huh? No. It's just like, oh, so you're gay. And I'm just like, no. You know, like a liar. And then like, and then it's always just all like, then why don't you date all of them? I'm like, yo, Dad, this is just like, this is going from the left lane to the right lane. And it's not, and the worst part is, it's not even at the red lights. It's at even the green lights, he turns to me and he swerves a little bit. He shakes and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should.
You're feeling a little nervous, huh?
Am I swaying your sexuality by the swerves of my car?
How does Elvis make you feel?
Number 1 or number 2?
Oh.
Number 1 or number 2? Oh, that's number 2. Number 2, right?
Right?
Yeah. I think my dad went a weird way about it. It's just like, because I always had, like, girls as friends growing up. I just didn't vibe with dudes because I thought they were all dumb. It was dumb hanging out with boys growing up. I hated it.
When you're still right.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my quote-unquote guy friends are all queer, so it's like, well...
They're either queer or monkeys. Really?
Either guys or not guys at all, actually.
So it's like I always walk home with just one of my lady friends, you know? And it's just like, is that your girlfriend? No. What, are you gay? No. Then what's going on? I just have friends, leave me alone. They all happen to be girls, I'm sorry. Dad would just be like, Alexa or Alex A? What's going on? I'm like, what the? Shut up!
Wait,
Alexa
what?
or
Wait.
Siri? Yo, Siri kind of bad.
Oh!
You get it?
Wait,
A little
Chris,
bit. But, like, Alex is, like, a gender-neutral name for me, so I'm just like...
Okay, it's not to my Navy dad.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
and that's how we kind of go about trying to, like, gauge, I guess, where I'm at.
In the Navy! Da, 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 in the
I can't
Navy.
believe they didn't know that song was about being super gay. That's hilarious. They used that in Navy recruitment advertising. And it never went out because eventually they realized, oh, this song's about being, like, super fucking gay.
In the Navy!
I've never heard it.
Never either.
It's a...
We'll listen to it so we won't get
Yeah, it's a song by
copyright
YMCA. And,
Well, if it's by YMCA.
or by YMCA, by the Village People, sorry.
straight. Yeah. Wait. You know what? Sometimes it takes a village. It takes a village sometimes, you know? It takes a village.
Unedited. Raw.
What is this question? What are we on?
Finished our questions. I think we're just queer ranting now.
I guess, like, talking about, like, our family and everything is just, like, how is it for y'all making new friends? Because for me, it's... I'm trying to work on it, but just, like, meeting new people is just so open, like... Because I'm still male-presenting, so I'm just like, hey, by the way, my pronouns are they, them. I just don't want to be too pushy. Because when I first came out, like, you could vouch for that. I was just very pushy.
Oh, everybody at
super
work
avid.
hated Chris.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like...
Going
oh,
around work. They! Huh?
I remember the first time I met you
Fuck.
during practice one time. I
wanted to shoot
misgendered.
myself.
I misgendered you, and then you're all like, "No, it's they!" And I'm like, "Oh, I feel so
That was
bad."
just a lot of pent-up aggression I had to work on.
Yeah,
We're
I mean-
better now. Just
Chris pulled it on me, and then I eventually just went, look, I'm gonna mess up, and I'll call myself out, okay? You don't have to... Hey! No!
But, like, there's, like, a whole, like... there's so many peaks now! It's like an
It's like
audio.
a barbell.
There's so many!
25-pound plates on either side.
Sound
I see what you did there.
Get in swole.
But, like, for people who, you want to get to know better and everything, how are y'all, like, in terms of, like, making new friends and everything, in terms of your identity?
You just ask their sun, moon, and rising sign.
Yeah.
If they answer with their sun, moon, and rising, it's like, oh, that means they have the introspection to take it to they won't hate crime you. If they know their signs, they won't hate crime you.
Or if you're me, you just don't. You just don't have friends.
Just do it.
I don't know. I haven't like interacted with anyone new in a while. I think mostly due to like COVID.
Oh, the pansexual.
Pandemic Lovato.
The
Condom
Panoramic.
play.
Pandemic.
pandemic.
The pandemic of the disco.
The pandemic.
Okay, yo, there's more space.
Beverage, please.
I'm okay.
Careful if there's a mirror behind you.
Has that smudge always been there, or is that just Clark's head?
Actually, it's Clark's head. I keep that shit clean.
What were we talking about?
Just making new friends with your identity and stuff. How you come out to new people and stuff.
For me, I'm like low-key trying to choke again. Not trying to choke.
We got that on the record. They're trying to choke.
Harder.
You said it, not me.
Embracing my identity helped a lot with my self-confidence and presenting myself to people. I don't put being queer at the front of my identity. Like I said, it's mostly for myself. And to the friends that ask, you're gonna get an honest answer from me, as long as I feel like you're gonna be an honest friend. But for the most part, I'm pretty good about just gauging people's general, like, vibe with the world, if that makes sense. So it's like, I don't necessarily change who I am, but I know how to meter parts of my personality to not, like, rub people the wrong way, I guess. I mean, it sounds like I'm changing my personality, but I tend to just present myself honestly and let that pull people in, you know. People can gravitate to my personality if they like it, and I won't. Why? Why did this become... Wow. I lost my train of thought because I was like... We all just... Everybody's
just opening up and like...
Okay,
It's muted. Everybody's just like talking about their story. We're just fucking stroking the mic.
Anyways, making friends. I don't go out of my way to make friends. I just exist, present myself honestly, and whoever gravitates towards that, more power to you.
Hey, fucking man.
You and me
Yeah.
are the- Oh, I like making friends. I'm just an extrovert with a battery. Like, I'm a party in the front and then depression in the back. Like,
But it's in the backseat of a Lamborghini going... Vroom.
Yeah.
Awkward silence.
Awkward silence.
I see the Transformers reference at the very, very bottom.
Who needs the
I guess.
Transform and roll out.
For y'all's identity, like, is there any hobbies that kind of reflect your identity, or kind of like? That sounds very cliche.
I know, like, because I was thinking about this when I saw the prompt, and I was just like, how do I say this in a way that doesn't sound cliche? But
Cliches are cliche for a reason.
right.
It's true.
But when I think about my identity, I think about how I express myself through fashion, and so I would consider thrifting, whether it be for furniture or like other glass bases for my plants, or random baggy clothes I find. That thrifting is a good hobby that helps me be more comfortable with who I am. I feel like also because like there's stores you never know what you're gonna find, and growing up I would always go to like Marshalls and like Ross, and not to say that those are bad, but like my mom would always gear me towards like the girls section or the women's section, and like in the thrift store like there are some labels, but for the most part I just like go wherever it looks cool,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice.
And all of a sudden, now thrifting is trendy or something.
Oh, I know.
People made fun of me for going to Ross and Marshall. We're gonna look at you now.
I know, for real.
I
And I
got
was like,
this shirt at Ross.
I love off-season stuff.
I got the shirt at
For real.
Ross. It's great.
All of my hoodies are just from Ross.
Yeah.
You should go to Ross.
What are y'all doing after this?
I'm going to Ross,
I guess.
For myself, it was just recently actually. I've always had a love for folk dancing, especially like Philippine folk dancing, and this wonderful choreographer. Shout out to Ate Kim if she's ever gonna listen to this, but we were going to do this one dance called Sampugita, but then she noticed that all of the people that were going to do the dance are not I lost my train of thought. Are non-gender conforming.
yes, the envies.
The
Yeah.
envy dance.
So what she was able to do was reframe like a very traditional like dance of like celebration and friendship as a way for all of us to celebrate our gender and our own identity. And we did that through taking traditional traditional heteronormative.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm hungry. I'm super hungry.
I'm sorry, but if you're speaking of that fact, I cannot edit that out. That is staying. I am amplifying that actually.
Sorry, I'm very hungry. But yeah, back to what I was saying. We took very traditional heteronormative Filipino attire, like barongs and barotsayas and like panuelas and stuff, and we combine them together so that we can say that in this day and age, folk dancing isn't just conformed to two genders. Anyone can play whatever role they want to. And these very traditional and like rooted dance that are specifically for men and for women, it was like it blended together in this like beautiful dance. Even though it was a very simple dance, it was a very informative and a very uplifting and liberating dance. And I just keep thinking about it. It was great. It made me really, really happy. And it's like I didn't know it was the happiness that I actually needed. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
What?
Your turn.
This is it.
Oh.
It's just talking to queer people. That's it.
Nice.
I'm doing it right now.
Breathe.
I think the most is just like actually photography and everything, because like modeling is so it's so very straight. At least like just total like Instagram type of shit. So it's just like actually editing like videos and everything, and kind of like.
Damn, bro.
What are we doing?
We're dogpiling.
Go queers.
Queers!
Queers.
Quack.
Queers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait, I can't
Quack.
count. On 3 or after 3?
Do you count down or up?
Sideways.
3.
Diagonal. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I don't. Okay,
In
this whole
parabolas.
this whole podcast is just us being us. So if y'all, yeah. But my hobby's just kind of like.
Alright, well. Okay, Chris, I'm sorry. I knew you wanted one.
You offer me a TikTok. Oh.
These are surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbies, we're doing it. Okay, next.
For me, as far as hobbies go, ever since I bought my car, I've basically just been a car person. And so there's a lot of things about car culture that get associated with toxic masculinity. Burnout, sideshows, stuff like that.
Mufflers.
That's not it. But through my experience in modifying my car and just becoming more part of this general community, I drive a Corolla, okay? I'm not going anywhere fast, but I can make it look like it's going fast. There's a humbleness about it, and just this general community acceptance of you do what you want to do along the same veins as like the queer community. That same shared energy of no judgment for what you want to do to your car, more power to you for doing what you want to do. Okay. And more often than not, I find myself just kind of diving more and more into this and finding that cars will absolutely draw in like a large crowd of people. And one way or another, that can get messy really fast. But for the most part, I've been finding that at the core of it, it's pretty much been the same ideal of you do who you are and we will uplift you for just being there. Like my first few car meets, I had nothing done to my car and people were like, we're happy you're here. Thank you for being here, you know? And then as I progressed with things moving on, I buy stickers and stuff from like my friends and like local people who make them, and it's just more of that like community support that I started to learn through this lens and through my queer lens as well. And they kind of just meshed hand in hand very well. There are plenty of people I know who, in at least the car community that I'm involved in, very unafraid of being who they are. And, you know, because it's in our cars, we show it outwardly, very publicly. We're driving it down the street. These things look loud as hell. They sometimes are loud as hell, and it's not to be obnoxious or anything. It's just to be expressive of who we are and not be afraid of it. So yeah.
Did you answer? I don't know.
Oh, I don't think I did. Hobbies. What's my identity? I am a huge art person. Coming from a kinesiology major, a lot of people don't expect that. A lot of people expect it to be just sports. Sports. No.
Go team! Throw the ball!
Ball.
Yeah. I'm a very artistic person. I love art. I love drawing since I was a little kid. And recently, part of a project where I was the head animator. And,
Thank you for giving me massive thighs.
I made them like a DILF. Like,
good.
When my dad grows his hair out, it looks exactly like that. So I was like...
If you don't know what we're talking about, PCN.
Yeah.
That is it.
Oh my
PCN as a state.
Oh
It was a kind of a nightmare.
gosh.
There were only 4 of us drawing that entire 2-hour.
I played a
movie.
misogynist.
I directed them to be a misogynist.
what type of massages did you do?
As soon as you said that, I was just like,
The
what?
one where they
Oh, yeah.
get the shit out of women.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This is why you die at the end.
Hey, I'm fine being toe mater.
What?
A martyr!
Oh. I thought of Mater from Cars. Just
No,
what?
yes.
That was
Yes,
a joke.
yes, that is a joke.
Huh?
Get her done.
That was it.
That was it. That was the
Okay.
joke.
The point in you.
Whoosh.
Anyway.
Oh, they use your own
Segue.
TikTok against you. Anyways.
I was head animator for that production. However, there's a running joke that I can't draw men. I can only draw women. And a good majority of our cast were, a lot of our characters, almost all of them were men. I had a very hard time with that.
They all have the same chiseled six-pack as their entire chest.
Oh my gosh, I swear. There was this one time you timed yourself drawing one of our female characters and one of our male characters, and it took you, 30 minutes more?
No, hold on. It took me an hour and 30 to draw the male character. And it took me 45 minutes to draw the woman.
Half as long. I know what I'm doing.
I know this.
Oh!
I've been studying.
I can only draw women.
Oh my gosh, also, if you look at the art style of them and, the other animators, you can tell there's a lot more detail when designing the female characters. And then if you look at all the male characters, they're kind of just all they're all the same.
They had robes and textures.
And then you
I'm
look at
standing like a fucking trash can in every frame.
our, two female characters were literally just whoosh.
And then with the middle one, it's the accent challenge. First one we got Bueno. Then we got Beat. Then we got
All of the male characters look pretty much the same, with the exception of their faces. And even then,
It was still they all had the same eyebrow scars.
So
What if we give this one an eyebrow slit? Oh shit.
solidarity eyebrow scars!
Those are going very long.
That's okay. The one we had with Venice was 2 hours long.
Same with Kay.
Mm.
Nice.
You should listen to episode 6 and 7. 5 and 6.
6.
It's like 7 minutes. It's pretty.
If you stuck with us this long, don't worry. We'll get into more juicy stuff right at the end. Don't.
My stomach is growling.
Juicy.
Juicy juice.
But yeah.
Hobbies.
Hobbies.
That's it. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, I can only draw women. That's it. Period. Simply.
That's my hobby. Thank you.
That is my hobby. Drawing women.
Single hobby.
Draw a woman.
Drawing women.
and occasionally like one
One
person.
man.
With an eyebrow slit.
With my eyebrows.
So yeah, I think like the whole like energy with this is just kind of like all the people here in this room embrace our identity really well, and there's a lot of people who embrace our identity and like have this kind of superiority complex. I know, I was one of them. Clark and Dutch. Trying to work on that, but there's just a lot of people in the community just kind of like think they're better. It's just like. I think what, on the script, like you, Clark, said, just like embracing our identity doesn't make us less or more than others. We're just more in tune with it.
Mm-hmm.
We know more about it. And I like the energy when every time I talk to y'all and everything, because it's just like, it's never at the forefront of who you are. I mean, it is, but it's just like, you don't really have to talk about it as often unless like someone asks you.
Right.
It's just who you are. So.
Indeed.
Yeah. On the inverse, though, like, not inverse. Another thing we just forget to mention, we're all Filipino in this room.
We are? Oh,
Shit.
Oh my god!
Scabbard.
Yeah, but I think it's really... I think it's really important to emphasize that we are also, like, people of color. Even though it's just, like, one, like, brown spectrum of, like, black indigenous people of color, it's still, like, people of color. We're not what, like, people think of, like, gay people in the media. We're not fucking white cis men, cis gay men and shit. And that's...
We're not Simon.
We're not a rainbow parade in New York that doesn't want any police around.
Yeah. It's like also in the Philippines too. The like being gay is only acceptable if you're funny. And it's like if you're not being played off, if you're not using your identity and your sexuality as a laugh, then it's taboo. Which is like you literally have to be a circus clown in the Philippines sometimes to like be gay.
I feel like that mainly applies to like gay rather than like gay men rather than like gay women, because the gay women is always they're just shitted on regardless,
Or they just look hella mask.
In the Philippines?
In the Philippines.
Yeah.
I love how my cousin, who is a butch lesbian, gets more respect than I do in their sexuality. It's totally okay for her to be gay, but for me, no, absolutely not.
That's just the Philippines just like being super like patriarchal and misogynistic in general.
That's true.
When it didn't used to be like that. But that's a different story.
Catch up on PCN 49 where we talk about the openness of sexuality in Philippine culture.
Why are we plugging it?
Why are we plugging it?
It's over.
It's over.
Thank God it's over.
Doesn't mean it's not important.
Doesn't mean it's not important, but
do y'all
it's
like
over.
when you're talking to like new people in your life or just any passerby, like do you notice like the difference between like talking with like queer people of color and then like white queer people?
Oh,
I noticed it right away. I'm just like, okay, like
honestly, my colonized ass
really
every
trying.
I
time.
don't understand.
Yeah.
it's like I vibe with you on one level.
Not everybody has to have Freddie Mercury-esque levels of flamboyance to be queer. You know?
100%.
But if you're not, people are like, are you sure? Are you really? And it's like, I thought, why does the whole point of me being queer is that there is no norm. Okay, so why are you trying to push one?
Oh my gosh.
Honestly.
The term like generally heteronormativity pushing like the straight like norm. Homonormativity pushing like a whole like gay queer norm.
I think Jen was talking about it earlier about like coming out, it's always that one question is like, why don't you just tell your family? They'll love you for who you are. I'm like, no. No, they will not.
Mm-mm.
My parents did not fly away halfway across the country for me to say, hey, I like this, and this. And they're like, that's not right, so
That's
we're
not why
gonna
we brought you
throw
here.
a chinelas at me.
What do you do? Send me back?
Yes, they would.
Oh.
Oh well. Yeah. But you know, it's
I told my parents I wanted to do track, and they said why.
It's to run
away from my problems.
So you can run away from your grades, huh? I'm like, that's not what I like. I know. It doesn't have to be what you like. It's what we want. I'm like, they literally said that. I'm just like, okay. And so it's like, even like coming out, like it's a whole just like, you don't need to come out. Like I like the whole thing was just like reimagining like our closet now. It's just like, I did the paper on this, but just like, for me, my closet is something where I invite people to look into, like invite people into my room and everything. I keep my stuff tidy and everything is where I can like be myself. Sometimes I'll leave it open, on most days I'll leave it closed. But it's just like, I don't need to fucking like be out of my closet, of my safe space, constantly, to like just prove who I am and shit.
Consider mine more of a glass box. It's like, it's there, but you don't really know that you're in it until you step inside. You know? It's like, you can look right through it, you can see whatever you want to see, but, you know, like I said, I'm not gonna go out of my way to start waving around a rainbow flag and say, I'm fucking queer! You know? Because that's kind of the general idea of the LGBTQ community, at least. Definitely me growing up, me trying to understand what that was. That's all I saw. It was what we all know now is rainbow capitalism.
Can you define that?
It's this idea of just capitalizing on the queer community, and what seems to be the general consensus for this will get gay people to buy it. Let's slap a rainbow on it. Okay? And it feels more tone deaf than inclusive at the end of the day, because now they're trying to put just a general label on everything, when the idea is that there isn't supposed to be a general label. That's the whole point. It's not just a rainbow flag. It's the whole point of that idea was it's every color under that flag. It's everything on the spectrum between black and white. It's not supposed to be one defined thing. And for you to push this idea that, oh, queer people love a rainbow, we'll put it on everything and they'll buy it up. And what's sad is that it works in this country. is that they push that, and now children who are growing up with gender dysphoria and trying to understand who they are as far as being queer goes, they're going to see this instead of the truth of the community behind it, you know? Like I said, I wouldn't know anything about this unless I hadn't come to San Francisco and talked very personally with all of the people here. I would understand the difference between a non-binary flag, a pansexual flag, there's a lot of flags, okay? But it is the idea that, like,
There's a lot of letters in the alphabet.
There's a lot of letters in the fucking
And
alphabet.
we took 40% of them.
And that's just the American alphabet.
Oh, yeah.
We get some Spanish in there, throw some double L's and an Nye.
Tilde right there.
German, let me slap an umlaut on every fucking... You know, and for anybody out there that's listening as somebody who's struggling to find their queer identity, please ignore anything you see as far as, like...
Don't listen to Starbucks.
Yeah, it's like, they make you a Frappuccino for Gay Pride Month, it's not for you, it's for them. They're just trying to capitalize off of your identity, because they assume they know who you are. And I think, at the end of the day, that's more insulting than it is helpful. Anyways, that's my spiel on rainbow capitalism. After coming out to myself, I realized, I hate that. I absolutely hate that. That's so dumb. There's so much more to it than that.
This is a random question I wanted
Mhm.
to ask y'all. This is not on the script, like always. But what is one like random, like very rainbow capitalistic item that y'all used to love, but you just fucking hate now? That you have actually, that you remember buying or looking at it, just like that looks cool.
Maybe suspenders with rainbow colored mustaches on them.
You have those?
Yeah.
My stupid bisexual beanie. My bisexual flag beanie that I bought for Pride like 2 years ago.
I have a shirt that says y'all on it. It's like a crew neck, but the y'all is spelled in not spelled. It's colored in like the non-binary flag. It's actually really nice, but it's just like I can't wear it. I'm covering it up.
I haven't bought any
Yeah. I'm
rainbow
trying to
merch.
think.
Yeah,
I haven't submitted myself to Rainbow Capitalism
yeah.
yet, or hopefully ever.
I mean, I play this game, and they have this icon where when you spawn into the game, you have this little like you have the pride.
Is it League?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
it's
have the
like-
pride. You have one of the colored flag. Oh, you have one of the queer flags as your little running animation, and it's like I mean I use it sometimes.
Now people know in solo queue what type of slur.
Exactly.
They can use views.
Oh, they made it that easy.
It's just
so
all, like,
accessible.
they know which buttons to press. But I mean, yeah, I didn't buy any of the rainbow merch. It was like because I was in the closet. I was just like, it doesn't. Why decorate the closet when no one's gonna go in?
I think a big point is that there's so many different ways to express yourself as a queer person. And it's not
With the
just a
business.
rainbow flag, and it's not through conforming to what a business thinks you are. You know, there's a lot of dumb stuff.
Only in the month of June, by the way.
Bro, why I gotta be a fucking my birth month? Like, why?
You're Gemini?
No, I'm a Cancer.
Oh, wait. Okay.
You too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, ah.
Oh, yeah.
So this episode's coming out in June, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're definitely capitalistic. Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get blind.
Don't think of June as like Pride Month, just rainbows and
Yeah.
think of it as like what's the word I'm looking
I
for?
use it to honor the anniversary of the actual, like, riots that were happening, like, 51 years ago and everything. Like, actual Stonewall, Compton riots and everything. Just, like, use it for what it is. It's okay to have some pride, but just, like, have some direction in that pride, you know what I mean?
First Pride was a riot.
Period.
Let's make this the next one.
Me and Brie have this running joke where it's all like, oh yeah, in May, because May is Asian American Pacific Islander month. It's like, oh yeah, only these people, they get rights this month. And then like in June, gay people can only get rights just this month, nowhere else.
My favorite YouTubers, was just like, they're black and everything, and they have like, they play with a lot of their white friends and everything. And in February, they're just like, hey Grizzy, can you buy us back in Black History Month? No!
Shout out Smitty. Sponsor us.
Sponsor. But, yeah, yes. Do you have any bad experiences in Pride? Like Pride parades, especially in SF Pride? So stupid.
What do you consider a bad experience?
I don't know, straight people just being annoying to you, but they think it's like, oh, it's Pride, it's fine, it's Pride.
No, I think I just saw a lot more penises than I cared to admit. At least 7.
Just an excuse. I just don't like how SF Pride, or just any, like most of the Pride parades have just evolved into an excuse for a citywide party instead of actually kind of like pushing for gay liberation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed that. My very first Pride was 2 years ago, and I noticed that a lot of people were there dressed more as if it were like a rave or something, as
Yeah.
opposed to like actually celebrating anything to do with Pride. Like these people were not. It was not anything to do with Pride. They were just here for like to party.
I'm just here to be naked.
Yeah, I think people take it now, at least as far as that I've seen, as just like everybody said, an excuse to party. And I get it. Go ham, celebrate being you, but the reason there's a month set aside is that this should be a time to shed a light on what it means to be queer. You know, same with any cultural heritage month throughout the year. That's not supposed to be. I mean, like, it's part of it. Celebrate who you are, yes, but there's a reason those are dedicated to those particular months. There are events that constitute that, specifically being Black History Month, being Asian American, being a Filipino American, being whoever you are. There's a reason those months are dedicated to you. Something happened that was supposed to shine a light on your identity, and at least as far as, like, Pride Month goes, that's pretty much all I've seen for the last maybe close to 5 years, something like that. It's just been a party here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the first Pride was a riot until literally 5 minutes ago.
Oh, for real?
Really?
Yeah, that was news to me.
Did you
Oh.
know that it was started mostly by, like, trans people?
Yeah, because a lot of police
Marsha
raids
P.
were just
Johnson.
kind of like
Mhm.
pushing on like a lot of like these like queer spaces, and they're like,
See?
the
That's what I mean.
Miss Major, Marsha P. Johnson, absolutely incredible women.
I should share you the video on like or the movie on like the Compton riots by Stephen Stracker. It's actually really nice reading and
Historical events that define the community should always be shared and exposed, and that's the reason these months exist. Okay? And that's why rainbow capitalism is bullshit, because this is when everybody and their mothers is like, look, we can do gay. I'm gonna throw a rainbow in everything I have. Look at this cool line. It's like, I would have loved to see, like maybe clothing lines start to abandon the idea of, like, gender normative models, It's like, oh, we make a shirt and it looks good on this body, this body, this body. It doesn't have to be relegated to just a man, just a woman. You don't have to be black, white, brown, whatever, It's a good time for, like, exposure to what it means to be queer. But instead, it seems to just turn to, I'm gonna throw a rainbow and everything. I don't know.
Slap a rainbow on its ass.
I like how,
and
like,
send it
when,
on its
like-
way.
white gay people try to like specific. You okay?
Yeah, okay.
That bet didn't want to be slapped back.
But I hate it when like white gay people think they're the most oppressed group ever. I'm just like, really? you don't acknowledge your white privilege. and
You have Elton John. Be quiet.
shit.
You made it.
You're
I mean,
there.
we also, us talking about it too is also a privilege that we have our own platform.
True.
Being queer and talking about these issues, and we may not highlight all the other issues that aren't seen, but these are our experiences too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this was just like a footnote in like the whole queer experience, because like I said, it's only like kind of, we're all like five queer Filipinos and everything. We're not like gonna represent the whole fucking spectrum of what it means to be queer, because we kind of can't. Like, you kind of have to find out for yourself and everything. And if you're kind of upset with that, then just like, you gotta work out some other stuff, yo. Like,
Somebody doesn't know who they are.
Touch some grass.
touch some grass, yo.
Wow.
You need to touch the green part of the.
Touch some grass, smoke some grass, whatever you need to do to understand yourself better. Yeah. We kind of went over what needs to be said. Anything else y'all want to pop on about being queer? Or, like, people don't understand about you that just hate you? We can talk about Tumblr for a second.
No, you cannot. Do not open that
Okay, we're
can
not
of
gonna talk about Tumblr.
That's where I put all of my repressed gay thoughts in my drafts.
There's too much gay drama on Tumblr.
I miss old Tumblr.
I don't.
Oh my god, there was this
Thank
one
God I was
person
never on Tumblr.
who like
I was on there for a
who
little
posted
bit.
like
I saw
aesthetic
somebody.
pictures and stuff that would get a lot of notes and shit.
Mhm.
She was in my French class. Bro,
Oh.
I saw her at a soup plantation, and then I was just
Not
like,
a soup plantation.
I was just like, bro, you're in my French class. You just posted like this picture of the beach like 2 seconds ago. It was kind of but wild. We became friends, but then we became out of touch because they moved to
France?
Ithaca,
Oh.
Ithaca, New York for
Oh.
photography.
Oh,
Like
shit.
so fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no Tumblr for me. Did
totally-
not touch that.
Totally forgot. Since we're towards the end, I totally forgot to do check-ins and community highlights. So I guess, like, just real quick, everybody, just out of 10, how are you feeling? How was your day?
Oh my gosh, ever since graduating, I've been feeling like a 9 out of 10 because my brain has been smooth.
The semester ends glazed.
You know that? You know that?
I want to be fresh out the fryer. Just
Yeah, you know those, have you ever been to Krispy Kreme and then you see the glazed thing? My brain just went through that and, oh my god.
gone.
I'm gonna fund some volunteer orgs right now.
I'm feeling great. Not a thought in my mind.
What was your number again?
A 9 out of 10.
Hell
no
yeah.
thoughts.
Head empty.
Head empty.
Dehydrated.
Yeah.
What?
I'm dehydrated.
You're
You didn't bring water?
and you're drinking Ramune.
Soda.
I mean, I want to talk, but
I'm just like,
Has C2.
what would I'm trying to think, cause I've just been like stressed about finals and everything, but now it's finally over. I think I'm still processing that. I think I'm at like a 6, maybe a 7. Honestly, being with y'all here and talking in this space, because I normally don't really like talk about this, you know.
Mhm.
I usually just like internalize everything. It's really nice to just.
Oh my god, I feel so good now.
For real, so if it's just like straight up word vomit, it's because I don't talk about this a lot, so it's nice. Maybe, you know what, I'm bringing it up to a 7 or 8.
We passed.
That's
No, we're passing.
That's crazy.
Thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank y'all too.
Bro.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'd say I'm about like same as Jen, like a 7 or 8. I've been feeling fucking amazing ever since PCN ended. Because at being head animator, my hands have been just through the fucking ringer.
I love
have
a crunchy wrist.
both of my both of my I have carpal tunnel in both my hands.
Did you draw last night?
I did. But hey, no, okay.
That's
But
because
I
they
didn't-
wanted to.
It's because I wanted to, A, and because I was doing it at my own pace instead of like 5 frames a minute. It's the way that our biggest scene in the film, I did in one night.
Oh my god.
60 something frames? 67 frames from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. the day that we were releasing the film.
I texted them at 10. I was like, are you gonna do it? And then they said, fuck it, and then didn't talk to me the rest of the night. And then I was awake because I wanted to stand in solidarity with all of the people that were like doing it. So I wake up, I'm like kind of like falling asleep around 7 a.m. and then they finished.
I finished around like 7:10, I think. It was the last frame I put in.
We love unpaid labor.
For the culture.
For the culture.
As Olivia Rodrigo once said, I'm not exploited. Who am I if not exploited?
For real.
Oh, man.
But yes, ever since PCN
And that's
ended...
why y'all are on the podcast.
Ever since PCN ended, I've just been smooth brain, and it's been amazing.
Smooth brain. Brain empty.
Silly putty.
You silly buddy.
Slime.
You silly goose. You're so silly.
Aaron's magic thinking.
Can you do the Carl Weezer just for the?
Oh, okay. How do you want me to do it?
I don't know. Just talk normally.
Can you just say Happy Pride? Happy Pride Month.
Hey everyone, my name is Carl Weezer, and you're on Brown Conversation, and this is for our Pride episode. Jimmy's mom, if you're listening to me, hey!
That's gonna be the clip.
And with that,
You wanna go?
a conversation, a brown conversation. Dad, did you?
How are you doing, Clark?
School's over, and I'm gonna quit my job, so...
You heard it here first. It's a higher time block, which is peaked. It's fine.
You know, all my horoscopes lately have been telling me to align my, like, professional life with, like, my passions in life. And I was like, yeah, sounds like a... This was already after I made the decision to quit my job, so I was like, you know what? Guess so. Guess I'm gonna do it. And honestly, I've just been feeling so in charge of what the fuck is that?
It's from Daiso. You put this goo in it and then it...
Clark, it's the way that I thought when you said horoscopes, I thought you said horse girls.
Yeah.
My best friend is a horse girl. Love you, Maddie.
Wait!
What? Okay. Stop it. We're almost done. We have to.
9 out of 10. I'm on a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna keep stuff in its face.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
School is done for me. I'm not graduate, but still, we're done. Now I can finally do stuff that I actually want to do or have time to do. I've been editing more and shit. YouTube.com/Fluid. TikTok at 3_Fluid. It was nice. It's really good. And just being here with y'all. Very tiring. We filmed before this. We don't usually film before the podcast, but...
Oh my gosh, my eyes. Because, as I said earlier, I have really bad allergies. I didn't know I'd awaken my Sharingan this late.
Yeah. I guess. Any general community highlights you want to do? I just wanted to, like, kind of, like, shed light what's still happening on Palestine and shouldn't, like, stop. People shouldn't, like, let go of the gas on Palestine.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, hang on. Quick rant. And I just hate that I've been seeing this lately. But just because you support a free Palestine doesn't make you anti-Semitic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have been using this as a really heavy excuse right now to start railing on Jewish people. And just all these, like, Holocaust deniers and, like, down with the dirty Jew, free Palestine. Like, that's the sentences being thrown out loud right now. And that's part of the problem that's, like, perversing this whole situation. The government's actions do not have to align with the will of the people. As Americans, I think we all understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
And so for all the bigots out there that are using this as an excuse to start waving your fucking weird ass flag around, fuck you. First off,
Fuck you, Camp Auschwitz. Honestly.
You know.
Fuck. Stupid. Okay.
If you disagree with the apartheid of an entire culture of people, you are on the wrong side of history right now. End of story. There's no way around it. The Israeli government is just not there. Netanyahu's been in power for over a decade. They still haven't formed any sort of coalition government like they're supposed to have in, like, the last 5 years. He's just maintaining power and running with it. Do not take his actions as a reflection of the Israeli people, because they're not. They don't even want him in power. These are his actions and his consequences to face.
Even so, I think, like, I hate how, like, any, like, freedom of, like, liberation for Palestine is always just met with just, like, Jewish tears. I'm just like, okay, your atrocities and what happened to your people is totally valid, but you cannot block the liberation and ignore the atrocities of what's happening to the Palestinians right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, it's such a touchy, like, subject and everything, but, like, it's so reflective of how people act globally. And I think it sucks that we didn't mention it in the beginning, but freaking, like, what's happening in Palestine, what's happening in Colombia, what's happening in all two of those countries, happening in, like, the Philippines too, and that's why that's so important to us too.
We have it worse. That's exactly why you should be in support
Exactly.
for everybody else. Okay? If you support their problem, they're going to support yours. Because it's the same problem.
Not even yeah, exactly. Under imperialism, colonialism, and capitalism, we're all being oppressed.
Episode 3?
Episode 3. Look at all the resources prior. I mentioned it again. But yeah.
On that note,
Any
anything else from anybody else?
any piece of advice y'all want to like give to the listeners that you want to say before we end it off, and then also shout outs after that too.
I think my piece of advice is, you are your own. You are your own worst critic, and you should be your own number one fan. In whatever way you take that advice, do you? Because I'm not here to judge. I don't even know some of you, but you know what? I'm not here to judge.
That was literally what I was gonna say.
Stealing again.
What do you mean?
Advice from a queer person.
Stealing again,
Every queer
Mark.
person, you do you, boo boo.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I like to tell you.
Like, fuck, good luck, I guess. Damn.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck,
Hang in there, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Really though, like, find support. Talk to those you love. Walmart.
All right.
What? We are not being sponsored by the fucking
No,
Walmart
it was
family.
just the delivery of the line. I could have just been. I said like period, and then like Walmart. Like,
Thank you, Jen.
yeah.
Right.
Advice? What's happening over there?
That's fine.
Sorry.
They're
Head
on the
empty.
road.
No thought.
I don't know. Just, yeah, you do you. Be proud of who you are.
You wanna go?
If you're struggling right now with your identity, start looking at the things in your life that don't feel like they're for you. It could be as simple as the way you dress, the way you talk. When we say you do you, we mean you do you. The best part about being queer is that you're not anybody else's but yourself, you know? I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I am me at the end of the day. Most of my like Instagram handles and stuff before this was literally just Clark. Like just _ Clark. Nothing else to it. People were like, what? I mean, not even a fucking space sometimes. Just Clark. You know? And the second you can empower yourself in being who you are, it's the second you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibilities.
Bars.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
Bars.
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 Balik deh. Anyways, my advice. Fuck it. Go. Do it. Fucking, if you have... Just do it. Go with your own flow. Go with your own flow. More specifically, if you have just like an inkling and just like curiosity of like what path you want to go on, whatever identity, an identity, a hobby, learning something new, discovering more about yourself. Thank you, Mark.
Sorry.
You're fine. Just do it and everything.
Nike. Sorry.
Nike sponsored. Just go, because like the only thing that's stopping you is you. What the fuck is happening?
His head looks like Carl Weezer.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, we're gonna end it, but just like go with your own flow. Don't ride on anybody else's wave. Ride on yours.
Wow. Okay, water.
Another
Okay,
water
fine.
reference. Take 2 shots because you also mentioned flow.
Hell yeah. Okay. Anything y'all want to shout out?
Can you get this out?
Probably
Give me
not.
that.
Oh, you gotta.
Shout out your shit that you want to shout out, and then we'll end it. Fuck.
Shout out to my best friends for always accepting me. Jay, Miguel, Joseph, Kay, Sammy, and Vince, Louie. Thank you for always loving me for who I am. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you to the homies. You know who you are. You help me be more comfortable in my own skin, and I will forever appreciate you for that. What if I wasn't talking about it?
Oh man.
Shout out to also the
Me?
homies.
I got nothing.
Yeah. And with that, I'm Fluid, aka Chris.
I'm Clark? What? Question mark? Yes.
Who are you?
I am.
Questioning your identity after all we're talking about.
Who am I?
There's a song about that.
I'm Fluid, aka Chris.
I'm Clark Datu.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jen.
I'm Bree.
And you listen to A Brown Conversation.
Conversation.
A fucking dysfunctional one. God damn.
A brown conversation. Oh no!